for us.
Hello, you sexy Canadians. How are we? It is beautiful here, and we are ready to get rocking. We've got Florida. We've got Texas. Let's introduce our first squad, Florida Mutineers.
Which one do you want me to
OpTic,
do?
I think.
Give me the smoke, I want it all. What they saying, take a toke. I love the hate, I don't need no antidote. Better keep it light when you talking to the globe. It's no joke. Give me the smoke, I want it all. What they saying, take a toke. I love the hate, I don't need no antidote. Better keep it light when you talking to the globe. It's no joke. Give me the smoke, I want it all. What they saying, take a toke. I love the hate. Give me the smoke, better keep it light when you talking to the globe. It's no joke. Give me the smoke.
Let's meet Florida. We've got Capsidal, Vickle, Brack, and Fellow.
How dare you boo this squad? The 10th seed coming in with a 3-1 record in our Major 5 qualifiers. Capsidal, Vickle with this fresh haircut, Brack and Fellow are ready to take down the Titans. Can they do it? They gotta start with a hot game one and finish strong and control. Let's see if they can get it done, Clint.
And next up, their competition, maybe the favorites for the event this weekend. Let's meet your OpTic Texas. Ghosty, Shotzzy, Huke, and Dashy.
The green wall cannot get caught slipping here. Historically, Florida Mutineers has the edge, but not against this squad. Looking to form another dynasty. OpTic Texas hasn't looked this good in quite a while. Top 5 in seeding, but the only team without a chip yet this year. And they're gonna have to start it here. Let's get this game started.
Let's go, Cup.
It's time to get rocking. Don't worry, Shotzzy, nobody saw that, buddy. Let's get it going to our casters, Lando and Study.
Thank you, Baldy. Yes, indeedy. It is about to be a very interesting match. Jay, I saw a pretty familiar face on the stage. Was that 3 Rings Karma?
That's
Coach
3-time.
OpTic?
That's the 3-time coach in
Okay.
OpTic. You got to be feeling good with that guy standing behind you.
I know, right? I saw it on the docuseries a little earlier. You and I were like, are we about to see Damon potentially coaching this roster? It looks like that's the case, but into the matchup we go. OpTic Texas versus Florida. Historically, man, this has been a matchup that if you're Florida, you have liked on land, but if recency tells us anything, this has been a pretty easy matchup for the Texas boys.
Yeah, they just recently matched up in Stage 5. It was a clean 3-0 for OpTic Texas, and they did it on beating Florida at some of their best maps. So if you're Florida, you got to be on point today.
Without a doubt, you can see a few of the fans here. Maybe a few thumbs down, quite a few thumbs up. But let's talk about the matchup when it comes down to this series. Coaching staff ready, but the matchup coming into this game, Jay, it feels like it's going to be Shotzzy versus Vickle, right? For the Florida Mutineers side, it feels like he has been the all-star. At the same time, for Texas, I mean, Shotzzy has been lights out, especially as of late.
Oh, yeah, Shotzi's been in another planet. Like, you see his S&D stats, that's the stuff that really sticks out, because that's where these two really matched up. 1.63 for Shotzzy, 0.89 for Vickle. But last time they matched up head-to-head on an S&D map, it was 5 first bloods for Shotzzy, 5 first deaths for Vickle. So these playmaker matchup is going to be an impact all throughout this series.
Yeah, without question. I know we're talking about these two, and they are definitely going to be at the tip of our tongue, especially in this opening hardpoint where SMGs reign true. We're talking about Fortress Hardpoint. Many very confused as to why Florida would decide to play OpTic Texas, especially in game number 1, given OpTic's prowess on this hardpoint. can you dive into the details? Why would Florida decide to play a map like this, given how strong Texas has been on it?
Oh, the reason why you play this if you're Florida, because you're 2-0 in the stage. You beat LA Thieves 250 to 130. You also take care of London. London is not the best competition, but the LA Thieves one, you got to take it. So you want to play to your strengths. I know it's also OpTic Texas strength. Ever since Ghosty has entered the lineup, they have never lost Fortress AP. They are 8-0. But if you are Florida, it has to start on your side. You're not worried about the other team. Confidence has to be within.
Yeah, and I feel like when we talk about this matchup, it's no surprise, right? OpTic Texas are huge favorites, not just in this series, but to win the entire tournament. Does it feel like, Jay, as crazy as it sounds, does this have to be a Game 1 victory for Florida?
This has to be a W, because this has been the mode all throughout the stage where they actually, for the first time ever, have had a positive record in HP. But in the matchup versus OpTic Texas, you have yet to beat them, so this is where they got to answer.
Yeah, you absolutely have to. This has been one of the better stages for the Florida Mutineers when it comes down to hardpoint, but now you're facing off against the best team in the mode on arguably their best hardpoint, walking away with W's by over 130 points. We'll see if Florida can come away with some magic today. It's into P1 we go, and really, no one yet to hop on that objective, Jay.
Yeah, and that's kind of not the best case scenario if you are Florida. You start off on the preferred side, you usually are going to be able to get a little bit of that P1 time. But OpTic Texas, they kept it scrappy. They kept the mix going, and they were able to keep them off of P1, and now with only 15 seconds left, they're the team that's on it. But Florida maintain those spawns for the P2. They're trying to chop OpTic in.
And this is a big moment already into this game. Huke, first line of defense, cuts away Brack, and that's massive given how important the P2 spawns will be. What, just 15 seconds end up going either team's way over at P1. It's about to be a totally different situation as we head over to stage now.
Yeah, the spawns were able to flip. Shotzzy with the route through bottom art just gets behind enemy lines. So now OpTic Texas have the opportunity to take the lead. You still get a couple of close spawns though if you are Florida Mutineers. Vico and Brack, they combine for 3. Huke, the last one, he gets cut down. And now all of OpTic Texas are scattered.
And that is a very welcome sight if you're a Florida fan. It feels like, Jay, lately, and so far throughout Major 5, it has been Vico and Brack, the superstars here for Florida, leading in pretty much every single mode for them. Fresh fade. Vico tries to jump on forward, not able to win that fight versus Shotzzy. 25 seconds still to fight for. And right now, if you're the Mutineers, you're kind of playing with house money, right? You've got that rotation on lock, and now they win the fight for the final 20.
Yeah, you will take this if you are the Mutineers. You're fighting for this final 20. You keep it scrappy. You still have players contesting it, but the big picture moment is when they rotate early over towards P3. But it's usually not that easy, especially versus a team like OpTic who find success break after break. They're never worried about the rotations. It's all about the holds and the break percentage to win these hills, and they start off with the initial fight.
It feels like this hardpoint's going to tell us a lot. Florida lock it down. This could be a very tightly contested hardpoint. If we see an early Texas break, well, that could be a sign of things to come. But up to this point, first 45 seconds out of the way, it has been one wave cleared here for the Florida Mutineers. Capsule, he decides to rush on forward. He gets a guaranteed kill. Texas find 2 in return as they begin yet another attack into the point.
Oh, OpTic Texas, they did find those initial 2 kills, but they did not block that close spawn. So you still have bodies here if you are the Florida Mutineers, and Brack is not missing any shots. He finds another 2. Now it's the team here to assist them, and the Florida Mutineers with a flawless 60 hold at P3 to give themselves a nice little comfortable lead.
I don't want to get too ahead of myself, Jay, but is this already the best performance that we've seen a team have this early in the game versus Texas on Fortress?
Yeah, it is, because usually Texas, they're on the opposite side of this scoreboard.
Right, yeah.
Right now, Florida Mutineers, they're not making mistakes. Their setups have been great. They're not losing that initial gunfight, and they're trading efficient. But now it's all about getting out of this back spawn. OpTic Texas win a rotation over towards Cannon. They're slowly trying to climb their way back into this game. But look at Brack. He already finds himself behind enemy lines.
This is great work already from Florida. That's going to be 3 straight in the feed. Last one alive is Huke, who basically has to hit the retreat, wait for a few teammates to come off the spawn. I mean, this is picture-perfect work from Florida. And I think it was Nameless who was talking about how Fellow was saying, hey, nobody wants to see us on Fortress right now. We were even hearing in the lounge, like in the player comms, right? There's been a lot of people talking about how great this Mutineers team has looked, especially as of lately. And right now, we are seeing that on full display, nearly up 100 already.
Yeah, OpTic just got to find a way to stop the bleeding. Florida just roaming around, being nuisances, finding the openings to flip these spawns, and now find themselves up by 100 points. And Vico already on a 6 streak, make it 7. He doesn't plan on slowing down. The haircut is giving him powers.
Oh, it absolutely is, Jay. He looks fantastic. Now at 15 and 8, has a cruise missile, dodging shots, eventually falls, and now We take a look toward Blacksmith, the final hard point on the first set of rotations, and it is a massive lead currently accrued from the Mutineers. However, you cannot take your foot off the gas, especially versus this Texas lineup, as we'll see what the minimap will look to be in our next 30 seconds. Obviously, we're going to play for P1. Nobody really walked away with time last time around. And we'll see who can hold on to the left side of your screen, as that will be the P2 spawns later on in the game. But still some time to fight for. And again, it is Florida walking away with the seconds and walking away, Jay, with another 3 down.
That's 3 down. And now you have the ability to push out towards P1, potentially try to flip these spawns. But they're more focused on soaking this time. That's still an 100-point lead. OpTic Texas haven't been able to get a break on towards the Blacksmith, but them finding 3 kills might be the opportunity that they were looking for. You just got to take down Fellow. He's already off the rotation, and Dashy cuts him down. So even though OpTic Texas are currently down by 90 points, they're getting all the kills in the feed. Back to the P1 we go.
We talked historically, right? Florida, they have been OpTic's boogeyman at times when it comes down to LAN matches, especially back in Vanguard. All of those wins, Jay, that they were able to accrue for 3 straight events were off of opening hardpoint victories. Some of them were stunners. Some of them were dominant hardpoint wins. Right now, Florida is in possession of it, but as we said, Texas still with some fight in them. Not the greatest opening hardpoint here for Ghosty, as he's at 8 and 19, trying to get some objective time. But currently with 25 seconds left, it is Florida preparing for next and getting ready for one of our money hills on this map.
Yeah, this is some much needed time though if you're OpTic Texas. Gonna be able to breach that 100-point mark. But you see Florida Mutineers, they slow down their game. They know that they have to control the spawns for the next hill. Shotzzy does win the initial fight. You just have to come out on top of these trades, but Capsule still being a nuisance on the opposite side of the map.
Trying to be a nuisance, a huge, huge hard point that's about to be inbound. Let's step aside and see how the comms are sounding right now with the Florida Mutineers.
Listen, he wants bench. Dashy wants
I'm out open. You should look
Dashy
close.
could be dubs. Dashy could be dubs.
I got your dubs. I got your dubs. Nice. Open. One shot. Open. One shot. Nice. Good shit.
Get up.
Good job.
Could be your open.
I'm stunning it open. I have your open.
2 open, 1 close. 2 open, 1 close. 2 open, 2 open.
I'm looking open for a second. I'm just keeping it white.
I needed it.
2 of them. I got 1. He's behind the hangman. Help me.
Nice.
Let me see Q. He's closed. He's 1 shot. He's dead. Nice. Go, guys. Okay. Bottom maps. I have this time.
He's top circle and map box, I think. He's circle laying down. He's laying down. He's laying down top circle, trust me. I spawned out. Go focus
Circle guys, 1 shot.
2 circle.
And top map cage.
2 circle, boys. 2 circle.
Cage box on me. Cage dead.
Shotzzy.
I know bottom map.
You're by yourself, Carson. You're by yourself.
Bottom map.
I need help in time.
You're by yourself, bro.
You're by yourself.
Okay.
Let this one front time.
Front time on me.
Statue dead.
Ghosty's in the back of time.
Okay.
Watch maps on me, I think.
Bottom maps, Huke.
Good time on the skills.
He's hitting you out mid.
1 match now. Yeah. He's really weak K-Bells. Shotzzy. He picked up Bance. Nice. Last guy time.
Time 1 shot.
He's out of time. Nice. They're gonna be front.
Get time. Go for your map. Go for maps.
Top cage.
One more front. One more front.
Look at your gate. Look at your own front. Shoulder your front.
Oh, the G stables. One stables. I'm getting out.
Front dead. He fell down gate.
He fell down gate right now. Me.
Nice. Good job. Bottom map stairs. Bottom maps. Go bottom maps. Dashy.
Open backed up. Open backed up. Yeah.
Okay, Dashy's watching towers down.
I'll tell you what, these Florida Mutineers have come to play 220 to 108. I still don't even believe the scoreline that I'm looking at right now, Jay.
This is absurd. Like Florida Mutineers, they are playing lights out. You can hear the energy is definitely in the comms, so they know what kind of situation they are in. But what has been the success story has been the break. Florida Mutineers in stage 5, the best breaking team on Fortress HP. 71% of the time, they find the break, and that's why they are currently up by 100 points. OpTic Texas need a response. They have to get a full 60 hold in towards the cannon. Oh, there's already pressure here. Fellow and Capsule started off. Brack finds the 3rd. Fellow with the 4th. That's a clean 4 dead. Florida Mutineers can close it out now.
DJ Cap coming out and delivering a diss track right now here in game 1. And Brack continues to lock things down. 28 and 15 for him. Mr. Newberry having a statement here in our opener as Florida stun everybody in this opening HP. one more second to go, but they're already on the rotation. It would have to be perfection if you're Texas, but it will not be today. Florida, unreal stuff.
And I guess Tyler Fellow is correct. You don't want to play as Florida Mutineers on Fortress HP because they got the fundamentals down packed. SMG's winning some insane gunfights with just the positionings that they're able to take and set up around. They know what they need to do to execute some much needed time. But they just absolutely dominated in that map number 1. DJ Cap puts on a show. Fellow was super energetic in his communication. He's usually a guy that's calm, cool, collected. Right? But Florida Mutineers know this is their last tournament. We got to go out with a bang, and they do it in that map number 1.
I'll tell you what, man. It's like, we're talking about an OpTic team who, coming into this map, were 8-0 on this. They were beating teams by averages of like 150 points. Like, for Florida, who at times throughout the season has been the worst hardpoint team in the league, we very well may have just witnessed one of the biggest shocks of the season already here in this series. This feels like historic Florida stuff, where they come onto land, they deliver shocks, they deliver surprises. And it feels like, Jay, if you're Texas, I mean, you instantly have to regain moving into the search and destroy. The Mutineers smell blood right now.
Oh, yeah. The Mutineers know. All right, we take that first hard point. We weren't able to do that the last time around. So now we put ourselves in the advantage into this series. And if you are OpTic Texas, I don't know what it is, but whenever we come to majors, their very first game, every single time, is always the nail biter, or they're always starting slow. But one thing that OpTic Texas can rely on so far in this stage has been their search and destroy.
That's right.
They are still one of the best hardpoint teams in the game, but their S&D has been absolutely lights out. 6-0 during stage 5, and had the potential to make it 7-0, because the last 2 times that they match up, they were able to take that S&D.
Yeah, again, take a screenshot of it. Florida get the job done, 250 to 134, as we instantly have to get ready and focus up for this next Mercado search and destroy, which, as you said, man, has actually technically been the strongest mode for OpTic Texas throughout Major 5. I believe they are, what, like 6-0, 5-0 right now in that mode. Specifically, they've taken down some Titan-like rosters in that mode as well. Just one of the many reasons why we talk about, if you're moving into a major, why you want to try to be consistent across all modes. Right now, Texas have been doing their best at trying to accrue that, and thankfully they can rely on it now for this next game too.
Yeah, and it's going to be Mercado search and destroy. I don't know if you are OpTic Texas, you're feeling super confident in this one, because this was the team that ended that win streak for Atlanta FaZe, and they did it in dominant fashion. Yeah. They're the #1 team on defense. They're #2 in getting first bloods. And for a map like Mercado, where it's all about those attacking rounds, if you're not able to put a lot of pressure over towards Hedge, OpTic Texas would throw so many different looks at you to always keep you on your toes. So you got to make those mid-game adjustments.
Yeah, you absolutely have to. We know that, as you said, Shotzzy and Huke are going to be up in your face. How does Florida look to try to handle that? We know, right? Capsule, Vehicle, they've been great in search and destroy so far. We know that Brack obviously has his fair share of highlight plays, and, well, we're probably going to see Fellow more often than not with that sniper out. So it's going to be fun. That's going to be interesting. But as we said, for Texas, you've got to rebound, you've got to regain, and get prepared for this next search and destroy. So much on the line for this team. Jay, they've talked about it, right? How moving into Major 5, right? This is their tournament to lose. They talked about it. They're like, hey, we've been in back-to-back finals. This is our tournament to take. Already being delivered a shocking game 1 like that. Need to answer back here in the search and destroy. And I guess if there's one guy for Texas that you're looking out for, who would that be?
Oh, it's got to be Shotzzy, man. All throughout the stage, sitting at a 1.62. The last 2 times these guys matched up, Shotzzy had 5 first bloods, and they were all on Vehicle, the playmaker on the opposite side. So OpTic Texas, they make the adjustments in search and destroy. They make those mid-round adjustments to where they're able to throw so many different looks at you to catch you completely off guard. So on a Mercado search and destroy, where their defense is the best in the game, I'm more focused on what they're able to do on their attacking rounds, because Florida, you have to send players all over the map.
Yeah, absolutely. We know that this Texas team loves to adapt, and let's go and take a look at their search and destroy record so far here throughout Major 5. As we said, they have been flawless. For a team that's as talented as they are in hardpoint, to see their search and destroy record looking like this is absolutely terrifying, especially that offensive win rate, Jay. Nearly 65%.
They're just making plays, man. OpTic Texas are not afraid to move around the map, especially Shotzzy. You know that guy is flying left and right. But if you are OpTic Texas, gotta completely forget about that map number 1.
Yeah.
Search and destroy has been your backbone on this stage. You gotta bring it back in this search and destroy. And I feel like a guy who can definitely set the tone early is obviously Shotzzy, but alongside him is also Huke. I feel like Huke's kind of taking the backseat throughout this stage because Shotzzy has been absolutely lights out.
Right.
But if Huke can turn up alongside Shotzzy, you saw in the opening victory keys, it was right 72% of the time. In those opening duel percentages, Shotzzy and Huke are going to win it. So you got to use your SMGs to your advantage.
Yeah, so far, I mean, Shotzzy has been the first blood master here in major number 5, posting some unbelievable stats, 18-8. His attacking KD is a 2. So you'll be looking to see him try to improve upon that performance here into round number 1 we go. The Greenwald chants are out, and Texas looking to come away with an early round victory as Shotzzy from the Skyz puts in some shots there on the cap.
And the biggest thing that this map comes down to is that first blood, and Dashy's able to take down Fellow. So now OpTic Texas in the 3v4 situation. Vehicle tries to be super aggressive on the lane flank, tries to catch a timing, but OpTic set themselves up perfectly to watch every single angle. So now bomb's going to be planted, and Capsule's going to be the first one to engage.
Oh, Cap obviously knows exactly where Ghosty went. Does he check his right? You bet that he does. Vehicle at the same time finds one on today. Ghosty, and from there, we now enter into the 2v2. Vehicle and Brack now versus Shotzzy and Dashy. Time continues to tick.
Yeah, there's only 27 seconds on the clock. You got to at least get some information, and Vehicle does just that. Great shoulder. Now the foul onto Dashy. It's all left up to Shotzzy. And a 1v2 with 20 seconds left, Daddy earned.
Oh, and he's able to find that now. 15 seconds. Vehicle, does he decide to hop on the defuse? Or does he go hunting, watching for the OE? This is going to be a round for Texas. Shotzzy able to come away with it. A big 1v2 for him, wins that head-on fight. And from there, Florida left to scramble. Vehicle, not a chance. OpTic answer in our first.
Yeah, Shotzzy makes that entire round happen. He hops up on a dumpster. He's able to take down that player towards hedge. Once it turns into a 2v2, no hesitation to wrap back through barbershop, win that first gunfight, and let the clock count down to eventually win the round. Huge 1v1 between him and Vehicle. Shotzzy got the better of him all last week, and he already does in this round number 1. OpTic take the first.
At the same time, though, I mean, Vehicle at least was able to find 3 kills, so he's still doing his thing. As into round number 2 we go. Utility tossed as Florida take their first whack at attack, and really just 2 quick players already out of the picture. Dashy firing in some bullets over at that cantina. So far it has been great for Texas, but again, another 2v2 evened out.
Yeah, just a little bit too aggressive right there. When you have your numbers, you want to play the trades. But Fellow strikes as he knows the positioning of Ghosty, so now it's Dashy left in the 1v2. He does have the sniper, also has dead silence as well. But both players from Florida look like they're going to try to be the aggressors and push them out together.
He's got to be careful, watching toward his right. As you said, no gun picked up off the ground. Straight up X12 in hand, and Capsule is there to drop him. Excellent work again from Florida around the bomb site, around Cantina. Another situation where it looks like Texas is in full control, and Florida at least get the mid-round going their way.
Yeah, and I thought OpTic Texas had a great opportunity to win that round. You get your trophies on defense going into the round number 2. You find the first blood. You're already on top in the trade battle. But then Huke just tries to be the over-aggressive in towards top cantinas. Once he gets picked apart, you leave Ghosty with his pants down and then Dashy in a 1v2 with a snipe. Not an easy round to win, but Florida make those adjustments, tie the game up at 1, but OpTic back on the attack.
See if Dashy can put that sniper to good use. Unfortunately for him, it's really just to watch over Shotzzy. Excellent overwatch. In the meantime, Shotzzy not able to do the rest, but does deliver a stun. Also gives communication over to the squad mates as Vehicle delivers on another close range kill.
Now it's a 3v2, make it a 3v1. Capsule with the angle to take down Ghosty. Now it's Dashy again in another clutch. 1v3 this time around. Bomb's still going to be down over towards B. He has a lot of time to work with. You want to try to play for your first kill before you try to get this bomb down.
And he may just say, you know what? I'm not seeing anybody. I'm not seeing a soul. And Capsule tries to put him down again. Brought low, 50 HP. Here come Florida. And the timing not so great for Bruce. Already tagged up in the back. So many things to think about. Meanwhile, somebody's already on the defuse. DJ Cap delivering another blow, and Florida grabbed their second round And Jamie, we're talking about a 1v1 that ends up going Shotzzy's way. If that does it, this could be 3-0 for the Mutineers.
Exactly, Florida. They're just making the plays happen right there on their defensive round. They sent all 4 players through Cantinas. They know that OpTic Texas like to be the aggressors on that side of the map. And also, Shotzzy loves to push through tunnel. Even when Shotzzy found in that first spot, Vico was instantly there for the trade and then found a second kill to give them the advantage. Florida Mutineers definitely did their homework. Now they have the lead up 2-1.
Take a look at that quick replay. Just excellent work there for Vico in the midst of fire, in the midst of chaos. As he ends up finding a few, and that's just confidence at his finest. Knows the door is open, and from there, delivers another one. On to Huke. Into round number 4 we go. Florida back on the attacking side. Some great numbers coming in from your SMGs. Both Capsule and Vico have been electric as they'll pop dead silence coming into the cantina now.
Oh, and they're trying to at least get that first blood. Player from OpTic is able to get out, but Brack lines it up with the SMG. Switches from that tack, and the trade is now in from Vico, so another 3v2 scenario. Both players from OpTic Texas regroup, but Capsule's the aggressor. He jumps out from the hedge, and he finds the final 2 kills on the round. Florida Mutineers, 3 in a row, now up 3-1.
I mean, they are just screaming confidence right now. Cap, no hesitation, able to deliver his 7th kill already here in the game. We saw Brack pulling out the SMG. How often have we ever seen that? Mutineers looking like a well-oiled machine. You've got Capsule now on his 6th spree. He'll have that cruise missile to work with throughout the remainder of the game.
And that's so crucial. Cap and Vico so far setting the tone in this search and destroy. Now back to the defensive side they go. Brack still with the SMG in hand. He's just making it happen. The trade comes down to 3v3.
Jay, we're in an alternate universe. Brack is frying right now with the SMG. This is not possible. This is not possible. What are we witnessing? 1v2. Brack, it's all on to you. You got to come away with something special.
Wait a minute.
And right now, he's brought it into the 1v1. Now versus Shotzzy. Popping dead silence.
Dead silence invested. Shotzzy has that trophy system, so he's going to be heard. Can Brack find the timing? Information now gained. Does he go for the one-on-one? He cannot win it. Shotzzy, even with the TAC 56, is able to hit the movement, hit the first couple of shots, and clutch up on the round for OpTic Texas. Like you said, man, it's like an alternate universe. Brack almost just got an ace with an SMG.
Yeah, like we totally flipped here. Like Shotzzy's running trophy TAC, Brack's running dead silence Vaz. Like, I don't know what's going on right now. Clearly it is working for Florida, but these have been such narrow round victories here for Texas, and in both occasions, it's Shotzzy coming away with the crucial one. Everybody else has got to get involved and got to get involved quick.
And now this is a big round, though. If you are Florida Mutineers, you got to keep in mind they still have that cruise missile to work with. So OpTic Texas have to change the way they're going to play their defensive setup. You can already see the adjustments. You're going to have Dashy, the Soul Man playing towards back alley. The SMGs conga lining right through Barber as Shotzzy finds the first.
Brack at least able to even things up. Meanwhile, it is Huke still hanging out in barbershop. He's not got out of the chair, but the appointment's going to have to wait. Popping dead silence, roaming through middle. And thankfully has a little bit of smoke to aid him in getting back to the rest of the squad mates. And 3 versus 3, and right now for Florida, they could be eyeing up a bomb rotation. Looks like with player number 5, Capsule leading the way. Yeah, that bomb is moving right into the B site.
And should be able to take control of this B site for free. All of OpTic Texas playing for that aggressive push over towards A, watching the mid-map cross. There's already a couple players from Florida Mutineers in towards 10, so time's starting to tick. You don't want to continue to waste time trying to locate where they are and allow OpTic Texas to get that rotation. Let's just get this bomb down.
And that could come back to bite them. Texas already here, absolutely in ear's distance. Vico able to win a crucial one up close inside of dark. Numbers right now for the Mutineers. Can Vico get this plant down and escape with his life? Here comes Ghosty on the challenge, but it's a trade. Still for Florida, all on to Bruce as we've got ourselves a 1v1, but Brack takes it from the Skyz. Florida come away with the crucial one after it got dicey with that hesitant bomb plant.
Yeah, for both teams, it was just super aggressive over towards Cantinas. But when the ground started to slow down, you saw OpTic Texas, they were thinking that the pressure was still going to be over towards A. No one was going to be over towards 10 side. But Florida Mutineers hit that rotation. They find the initial kill. Eventually don't find the bomb plant because all teammates were near each other. So they just traded efficient. Now up 4-2. They still have that cruise missile to work with.
That's exactly right. Swing round inbound. A huge opportunity for Florida, and one that you feel like you have to have if you're OpTic. As crazy as that sounds, but already off the start, it is a team kill. Brack out of the picture, and Shotzzy looks to try to take advantage of it, but Vico gets gifted too.
So now it's Huke left in a 1v2, and the snipe comes out as Florida Mutineers clutch up on the round. Even after a team kill happens, Vico makes it happen from Hedge to find that initial two-piece, and then fellow lines it up with the snipe. Right now, Florida Mutineers are making the adjustments, are just clutching up in these rounds, and now find themselves at game point. This is the round when you invest that cruise missile and try to attack over towards the B side.
Yeah, I mean, it feels like it's written in the stars right now for Florida. This is a team who is not going to be at COD champs, by the way. Currently 1 round away from being up 2-0 versus Texas. This team is motivated. Brack again with the SMG, not able to find the first blood. Huke thankfully answers early, but it's 2 instant replies from Florida, and now it's Huke left all by himself. What has happened? What has occurred as Florida take another commanding map over OpTic Texas? And right now, Texas are dazed. They look like they just got hit with a stunner. Jay, what is going on? What is happening?
I have no idea. We're talking about OpTic Texas, undefeated in Search and Destroy throughout Stage 5. One of the best hardpoint teams that we have in the game.
Undefeated on Fortress hardpoint with this team.
And they have been getting absolutely steamrolled the last 2 maps. You can just tell Florida Mutineers, they're playing with nothing to lose. They're playing knowing that this is our last tournament. We're going out with a bang. But just the aggression and the way they are setting the tone early into these maps, we're talking about trading efficient, getting multiple first bloods. And then even if they're not getting the first blood, they're still clutching up on the round because your SMGs are making it happen. Capsule didn't even have to invest his cruise missile in that final round for Florida to clutch up in the Search and Destroy. OpTic Texas are completely stunned. The heavy favorite going into this tournament, and now they find themselves down 0-2 to the AC. This is insane, man.
I'm running out of words.
Same.
I'm running out of words. We talked about how it would be great if Florida could just win 1 map, and now they're up 2-0 with an Expo Control up next, where they went to a round 5 versus. Okay, we got to talk about that in a moment. I need a commercial break just to figure out my life, because I would have bet my entire life savings that Texas is going to walk away with this series, and I would be a very poor man if that is the case. But ladies and gentlemen, when we come back, it is Expo Control. Make sure and stay with us as Texas look to start the reverse sweep.
Call of Duty League is brought to you by Monster Energy, the official energy drink of the CDL. The Call of Duty League is presented by the GMC Hummer EV Pickup, the world's first all-electric super truck. And upgrade your game with the Scuff, the official controller of the CDL.
How's it going, friends, and welcome back to Major 5 here in Toronto. I've been told it's not Toronto, it is Toronto. Remove the second T. If not, you sound like an idiot. Exactly like me last year, but we're learning. But right now, Jay, this has been, I don't know if we're actually playing COD right now. Apparently we are. Florida currently finds themselves up 2-0 versus OpTic Texas. We thought the OpTic boogeyman type of scenario was totally out of the picture. The spirit of Dave Patty, whatever it is. They managed to channel something special, and now they are one map away from sending the tournament favorites into the lower bracket.
That's insane to say, because Florida Mutineers right now, they are playing lights out. They're making no mistakes. Every mid-round, mid-game adjustment is working out to their favor. Everything is going right now for the Florida Mutineers. But the series is not done until you see that 3 in that scoreboard.
Yeah.
So now we got the control on Expo, where both of these teams did match up. OpTic Texas were able to take it all the way into round number 5. It came down to every single team winning nothing but defenses. So key to victory for me, it's got to be whoever walks away with that attacking round, or at least earns himself 4 segments.
Yeah, it feels like if you're Texas, like you got to hit the reset, like you got to have really a powerful team speech moving in
3 times
to this game number 3. And I mean, as you said, Karma is absolutely back there. He's got to support the boys, and we'll see if they can pull off something special. I mean, it is not, wouldn't be surprising at all if we see Texas start to earn some momentum. It's just been staggering the way that the few opening hard points, or rather the few opening maps have looked. It is into the round 1 we go. A few seconds have expired, but it has been OpTic slowly but surely making their way into B, and right now they've got 3 men inside of the zone.
Yeah, that's already first segment done. And if you are Florida Mutineers, no sweat off the round, because they are great on a 2-minute hold over towards the A point. They're not even going to contest it in towards the theater. Just going to play for the exit kills. As Shotzzy pops that dead silence, he's trying to make the maneuvers around the map, but Beagle sniffs him out.
Hello.
Tries to go for the chow onto the second, but OpTic take care of B point. Time extended now by a minute. Now it's all about fighting for that sauna control.
We'll see if they can manage to find it. A lot of players trying to make their way through the right side, top right side of your screen. Trying to make their way around glass, get into saunas, and from there, that could be your window of opportunity. Ghosty with some visuals. He's having the SMGs fry, and with that, fortunately for them, they don't really gain a whole lot more than that. Shotzzy in the meantime, tack in hand, starting to formulate a bit of a push, as that time will be paused for the moment, and now it is on to Florida. How can they reply?
Yeah, how can they reply? And it's all on Brack, the guy who's slowly staying alive towards the back end, wins the one-on-one, eventually allowed his teammates to fly right back on in. Fellow with the great frag to take down Ghosty, and now Shotzzy, who's been alive in the enemy lines for so long, pops that dead silence, finds another. And OpTic Texas, they're coming out on top in these trade fights. You just have to find the kills that are over towards the sauna side, because as long as Florida Mutineers stay pushed up on the left side of your mini-map, it's super difficult to try to capture A.
And I really like what Shotzzy does here. Obviously, he's getting visuals, but he's also able to act as a bit of a checkpoint. He's trying to get Huke involved with him in these fights and trying to basically single out Vehicle. They know somebody's going to be in the back of their base. Unfortunately for Shotzzy, he dives on forward on that spree. Would have loved to get him closer to that cruise missile, but time is ticking, and the Mutineers continue to win these trades.
Yeah, they're not stressing, man. You're holding down the power positions, and every time someone drops, you're winning some insane gunfights to retake that side of the map. Both of the ARs for OpTic Texas, they fall. Capsule with the TAC 56 in hand, just sitting towards the back bus, blocking that back spawn. And now there's only 25 seconds left. OpTic have to get a move on it, but they can't get past Cap.
And they also can't get past Vehicle. I mean, it just feels like layer after layer. Texas, they make a bit of progress. It feels like really the only shining moment so far of this round has obviously been capturing the point over at B, but also Shotzzy going on that force spree from there. They have not really got a whole lot of anything. Brack now, he's going to find himself on 4 in a row, and this round is about to be done. One last ditch effort. Shotzzy drops, and that is round 1 to Florida. I got to say, Jay, that's not really what you wanted to see from OpTic. Like, that was not all that convincing at all.
Yeah, it definitely wasn't convincing, but Florida Mutineers, what they do so well is their defensive rounds. They are second overall on Expo control, and that's on full display in this round number 1. So they hold down that 8 point for 2 minutes. Every time somebody died up towards the bus side or towards sauna side, the trade was in, and they were retaking that position. And OpTic Texas just couldn't win a couple key gunfights to relieve all that pressure in the back of their base. As Florida take round number 1. But OpTic Texas, this is where they can respond. Last time they played, they put Florida Mutineers in that spawn trap nice and early. You got to try to replicate that again.
Yeah, this is the round that you're really holding on to, especially if you're a Texas fan, where you expect them to take it. This should be their opportunity to answer back in this game, get some positivity. Early on, it is Florida with some great trades, some great gunfights, and right now it is Brack currently sitting on 5 in a row. Sadly for him, he is the only one hanging out on the stage. He's giving a press conference to absolutely nobody. But thankfully for him, he's managed to get that second segment.
Yeah, second segment in, but you're more focused on finding that kill because the cruise missile is so impactful on a map like Expo. But Shotzzy shuts him down. They also take him off of that B point, so time's still ticking. They have players from Florida Mutineers going to try to contest on this side of the map. Dashy was a huge one-on-one towards the top, but Fellow and Vehicle are going to try to close out this B point. They know where the last guy's coming in. They should be able to extend this time.
Oh, great awareness there from Fellow. That is IQ, not EQ. Ladies and gentlemen, Nili finds a third. This has been a great start for Fellow. He did not have a great performance and that Expo control that they had versus OpTic Texas in the Major 5 qualifiers. Went double negative, already off to a great start as he looks to help lead the charge in the comms and the gunfights now in the remaining 1:45 that we have on the clock. It's a big one for Vehicle.
Yeah, Vehicle just sets himself up beautifully on the flank. Takes down that first player in Dashy. So now your teammates can slowly push up towards the bus side. Just got to clutch up on these next couple of gunfights, and they're fighting all of them in the feed. All of OpTic now coming off spawn. You do have Huke going on that deep flank. He potentially cause them some problems as he takes down Fellow, but Florida, they get on the point. They stop the time.
Yep, here comes Huke on the back. He eventually does fall, so now it's going to put more pressure onto the Texas's front line. What can they manage to accomplish? A current 2-for-2 trade. Capsule wins one. Not able to look toward his right. Fellow will thankfully win the trade, so map positioning is still there for the Mutineers. As Tyler Fellow putting him down left and right, and now he'll make a play for the spawns. In through glass, he'll elect to go. Huke finally able to win that engagement as they duel again. No segments yet over at A, but still plenty of time to work with.
Still plenty of time to work with, and you have somewhat map control if you are Florida. OpTic Texas, they playing really slow over towards Sana side. Vehicle on the flank. He does take down one, but now you know where the spawns are coming in. How much more of an impact can he make from this position? Absolutely nothing as Shotzzy takes him down. That's 3 dead in the feed, and with only 45 seconds left, OpTic just have to hold on for 1 to 2 more good pushes.
See if they can manage to do it. Comes down to just picks, as we know here. In control on certain maps. It's just a matter of finding a few in stride. Florida aiming to have that opportunity. Thankfully, they've got a few arrows starting to surround that A objective, but if Ghosty's able to find one that could turn the tide, now pressure falls on the Huke. By no means has had a great series, but this is the moment for him to have an impact, finding 2. That's 3 in a row as he is feasting inside of the diner. A few more left, and this round is going to go Texas's way.
You have a couple players from Florida setting up pinches. You have Vehicle who's trying to go on that deep flank, but he gets gunned down by Ghosty. So now you get the close spawns if you are the Mutineers. You can still try to stop this clock. It's 6-6 in lives remaining.
Make it 6 versus 4. Ghosty trying to go big for the team. Thankfully, they are able to wipe most of the players off the point. Vehicle, last one close, and Texas hold on. Gets a little bit dicey there from time to time, but wasn't actually able to work out to any zone captures over at A, which is kind of surprising, Jay, because I feel like Florida had more than enough time, it looked like, to maybe grab at least one of those zones, but that's just a credit to OpTic's defense.
Yeah, OpTic just traded efficient, held down the power spots, and chowed when they was needed to not allow Florida Mutineers to get that one segment. Currently in the game, Florida are outslaying OpTic Texas. They're all tied up in segments, so if we do get to that round number 5, it's going to come down to the kills. Now OpTic Texas back on the attack. It's always easy to capture this B point, but now you got trophy systems to work with. Let's try to go get a segment over towards A.
This has been a mode that OpTic has talked a lot about, saying that this feels like their only weakness, control. The game mode that they've been working on, stressing on. Dashy in an interview recently said, hey, it feels like control is the mode that's really going to get us over the edge. If we want to stop having these second place finishes, it's going to come through this mode. And right now they're relying upon it to make something crazy happen. Here versus Florida, the expedition of what could be a reverse sweep starts in moments like these as they are halfway done to getting that B zone.
Yeah, they're taking their time, only having one player on it. so everyone can try to fight for those one-on-ones. Take some map control. It looks like Florida, they're not going to give this one up for free. Fellow takes him down, takes down Ghosty, and now Viko's just throwing a couple of shoulders. Can he get out with his life? No, he cannot. So now with that being 3 dead in the feed, OpTic Texas should be able to close out B and now have 2 minutes to try to get at least 1 segment over towards A.
That's right, this one's guaranteed, and now the push elects to be what we've talked about so often, right? Trying to get through the flank, get into saunas the best way that you can. That will be Florida's primary mode of attack. So far for both teams, it has been really capturing the B zone, but no success on A. Can OpTic finally make the wrongs right? That pick from Dashy is going to mean a lot.
Yeah, Dashy starts it off, but you still have to worry about Capsule. Player in the back of your base. It's potentially setting up the rest of your teammates to get put in a spawn trap. Florida Mutineers controlling the right side of the map, trading efficient. Now just not going 2 to 3 dead. Shotzzy, he does take down Brack, so now you have somewhat sauna control. You have Dashy in a position towards top double windows, and he's also on a 5 spree, so just play for this 1 kill, earn that cruise.
Put some tags into Brack. Not able to find him yet. They can still play some spawn kills. Loses Ghosty, loses Shotzzy, so his ability to earn this streak becomes that much more important. He's able to do so. Massive W there for OpTic Texas that you're going to have that cruise missile to use throughout the remainder of this game. And maybe even in the later stages of this round, depending on how dicey it can get, how much control that OpTic can get on the map. As here comes another flank now from the Ant-Man.
Yeah, Shotzzy can make something happen here, but Fellow right off spawn reads the play, takes down Shotzzy. They also find Huke, and they maintain the left side of the map. So time is still ticking. You get at least 1 player in Dashy on towards the point, but he should easily get cut down. Florida Mutineers, they're just holding strong on the mid-map setup.
Trying to build upon it. Fellow brought low. But manages to stay alive, stay intact. Shotzzy, does he get that extra tick? No, not yet. So close to getting that 1 segment over at A. However, that progress bar now begins to move toward the opposite direction. Fellow now on 5 in a row. Jay, he is 21 and 16. He is flying. This is vintage Tyler Fellow right now, ladies and gentlemen. T-Fel Enterprises start to invest in it. It's a wonderful venture. 4 lives left if you're OpTic. 10 seconds on the clock. This is a Hail Mary if I've ever seen one.
Yeah, it's got to be picture perfect. Got to find all the kills at the right moments and at least try to stop the clock, but you cannot get past Fellow. He runs out of bullets, pulls out the knife, and eventually leads to Florida Mutineers now finding themselves at game point in the control. The potential to beat OpTic Texas in this series 3-0 is on the line. You have a cruise missile to work with. You have been able to outslay OpTic Texas the entirety of this map. Just try to do the easy work. Get that B captured and just simply don't get outslayed so you have defense in round 5.
If you're the Texas IGL, if you're Ghosty, really in this situation, Jay, what are you saying right now to the team to keep them composed and to try to help secure a defensive round just to see a round 5? What are you saying to the squad?
You got to put them in the trap. The initial gunfights are everything. You get a clean 3 to 4 dead. You block the back left spawns. You trap them towards Globe side. You put the kill heavily in your favor, and that's not the way you want to start it. As Florida send everyone over towards the B point. They get the first initial 2 kills, and now they're on it. OpTic Texas have to find an angle in.
Oh, Cap is fire with different. You could just tell confidence elevated. Speed, movement. The man has got everything. And currently, it is that time pause right now for Florida as they send Vikoh pretty much as a scout, try to earn some information, try to get over to that A zone. Unfortunately for him, he is thwarted. But in the process, the Mutineers, they're about to walk away with B, get another minute added onto the clock. So 2:15. Can OpTic hold?
Yeah, OpTic have to try to hold on, because Florida are going to try to invest everything here, including the cruise missile. And Brack right now, he's not missing shots. SMG, AR in hand, does not matter. Now, right now, Florida, they found themselves in a great position. A lot of mid-map control. You did have 1 player on the point, but Dashy cuts them both down. So OpTic Texas take control of the mid-map, and now you're forcing Florida Mutineers to slow down their game and fight for the sauna side.
This has been the story throughout the entirety of this game. The offensive team captures B, but they've yet to capture anything at A. Fellow bringing in the cruise missile. It's only information. No kills will be consumed by it. And so with that, if you are Florida, you're relying on Brack to hopefully find a few kills, because if not, This could turn into a spawn trap. Big one from Brack. Fellow ends up finding one in the meantime. That is 3 down. Here come the Mutineers.
Here come the Mutineers. The only player up is Dashy. He does take down 1, but you can at least earn that first segment complete if the stack is going to be in. They're more focused on maintaining the map. Cruise missile does get invested. Nothing is going to be able to connect, but OpTic Texas, they still have the bodies. They're going to fly right through the pool, and they're able to relieve that pressure. Clean 4 dead. All of Florida, off spawn.
All of Florida off spawn, but at least they were able to earn a segment. That is one positive that you can take away. Obviously approaching that round 5. We'll see if it's even necessary, but good work just to at least put 1 through, doing something that nobody's been able to do so far throughout this game. A current 2-man down Florida, momentarily with numbers. However, a few of those Texas spawners in the bottom right side. So they'll be right back into this fight as Capsule right near that objective. This is basically setting up for essentially a search destroy type moment. First blood is going to be key in this team fight.
Yeah, first blood is everything right here. As Brack was the player going on that deep flank, but he's going to assist his teammates through the middle of the map. Capsule starts it off with the first kill onto Shotzzy. Even though OpTic Texas have sauna control, they're not winning any of these gunfights. Florida Mutineers, they're coming out on top. Ghosty and Shotzzy, they trade efficiently though, but not for much. The second segment is about to be in.
Oh, and thankfully Huke is there to save the day. Did they capture A? I'm trying to look extremely close. I'm not sure. It's a tight one. Regardless of it, it is Texas who just narrowly hold on to the second segment at A. 30 seconds to go. All I know is I need some glasses, just like Huke. Locking things down. 20 seconds to go as Florida begin what could be their last push, and it does not start off well.
Yeah, it doesn't start off well. You lose the initial 2 fights. Now OpTic Texas know where the pressure's coming from. Huke goes for the one-on-one. Shotzzy finds the final. And now with only 10 seconds left, Florida cannot get out of their base. But Huke saw us all on the 4 spree. If he could potentially earn himself a cruise missile going into this next round, that's going to be crucial. Because Florida Mutineers, they've been able to outslay the entirety of the map. They also have a 1 lead in the segment column, so they're going to have that defense going into the round number 5. So OpTic Texas just have to try to figure out how we're going to close out that 8 point.
See if they can come away with it into our final round here of game number 3. What very well could be the final round of this series. No team yet to crack the code here on Attack. Can it be OpTic to finally walk away with one? Confidence would surely be at an all-time high, at least in this series, moving into the hard point. But can they do it? Huke on the 4 spree. Would love to have that cruise missile, as you said, Jay. 2 away from it. Trying to fry, trying to fly. Nade tossed out. Is OpTic eager for information? And they do not go over toward B. In fact, they make a play over at the A zone off the rip here.
Yeah, that's what you got to do. You just got to win the initial fights and at least earn yourself a segment to put the pressure on. But every player drops besides Ghosty. So now he has to put himself in a position to play his life, but he does get stiffed out. Florida Mutineers were ready for the push. Already 30 seconds knocked off of that clock. At least if you are OpTic Texas, with Dashy finding that kill, they get the close spawn over towards Bus, so you can still commit towards this 8 point.
Keep an eye toward the top side of your map as well. Shotzzy actually just runs right through the B zone. Capsule finds him. So Shotzzy out of the fight, and now for the rest of the 3 here from Texas. They run right into A, but they line up. It is a shooting gallery here for Florida as they find all 4. Excellent job from Vehicle, as now we're down to just 35 seconds on the clock. Texas thankfully able to pause the time for the moment as they are eager to get that B zone out of the way.
And how aggressive is Florida Mutineers going to be in this situation? You're up a lot in the lives department. You're back on the defensive side where you want to be. But Vehicle's doing it with the SMG and the AR. Give him 3 in the feed. Last player is going to be Dashy. He's the sole man for OpTic Texas over towards the B point. I know his teammates are spawning close, but you're worried about where Brack is because he's just trying to find the timing to relieve some of that pressure.
Oh, Brack trying to play spoiler with this kill. Could mean everything. Throws a shoulder. Not able to find it. Bruce remains intact. And from there, 1 minute and 30 on the clock. OpTic buy themselves some more time. But can they make the most of it? That'll be the question. Florida has been so solid in these crucial situations of not going 3-4 down. We know OpTic absolutely has the potential. They have the slaying prowess to make it happen. It's just a matter of the stars aligning.
Shotzzy right now at least puts himself in a position to take somewhat street control, but Brack is able to fill that gap. So Florida Mutineers still holding strong over towards the Sauna side. Only 55 seconds remaining on the round. No, currently Dashy is on a 4 spree. He's trying to earn himself a cruise missile. He picks up the 5th, but does get traded by Capsule. Now time is still continue to tick. OpTic only have 11 lives.
Starting to deplete. Huke trying to make some work happen. Cannot turn. They're on to Fellow, but Shotzzy quickly off of spun, runs right into that A zone. We'll pause the time at 40 and some change. Can this be the moment here for Texas just to get a few segments on the board, just shy of walking away with A? Florida come away with 3 kills as Brack hits the snapper.
And that's a clean 4 dead. With only 30 seconds left, Florida Mutineers know that we have to hold down one more good push. Vico's already in behind enemy lines. He does take down 1, but with only 5 lives remaining, OpTic Texas need a miracle.
They do indeed. They pause the time, but only for a moment. Fellow is there to take down Shotzzy. It's just 4 lives left. A miracle is what we need, but it's not one that we're gonna have. Huke and Ghosty, last players alive. Here comes Fellow, and there it is. A hot 3-0 for the Florida Mutineers. And the OpTic Boogeyman is alive and well here in Toronto.
I am at a loss for words, Lando. The way that Florida Mutineers just came out and played that entirety of the series was insane. You dominate OpTic Texas on a Fortress HP where they were undefeated on ever since Ghosty ends the lineup. You absolutely slammed them there. But on the Search and Destroy Mercado, they didn't really have a lot of reps. They just started off with the aggression. They were the team setting the tone early on in that S&D, and they closed it out 6-2. But when you get to this control, it's all about those defensive rounds. It came down to it the last time these two teams matched up. It was OpTic Texas who got defense round number 5, but Florida Mutineers do just enough in the segments column to earn themselves defense and eventually clutch up 3 defensive rounds in a row to take down the heavy favorites in the tournament, man. I know Florida Mutineers are not going to be at champs, but that is a sight I love to see out of such a young team.
And it's crazy, as you said, for a team that's not going to be at champs. And just to be totally honest, Jay, there are some teams who are like, hey, we know we're not going to be at champs. We know we're not going to be at the big one. You know, we'll just see how the rest of the season goes. This Florida team has not done that, right? We've gone to their listenings throughout Major 5. They're still, like, they were fighting. They got to winner's bracket in Major 5. And we talked to teams. They've said Florida, they look nasty right now. Yeah. This looks like the best Florida team that we've seen in recent memory when it comes down to scrimmages. And that made us ponder. That made us wonder, could there be an upset potentially here? But nobody, and I mean nobody, thought that we would see a 3-0, especially with some of these maps here.
And now the crazy thing is, OpTic Texas lose this series. They drop down to losers, and they have to play LA Thieves. They have to play the team who just won the most recent major to try to stay alive in the tournament. That's just an insane performance from Florida Mutineers from start to finish, man.
It absolutely is, and you can see it. OpTic's kryptonite, we talked about it, how it was going to start with that opening hard point. Could Florida come away with something special on the Fortress? And the Mutineers, by the way, when they won back at Major 1 in that crazy Game 5, they did it based off of just a 2-3-5 scenario. Florida had never beaten OpTic in a hard point, yet they come out here, beat them on the Fortress, and that was a statement throughout the remainder of this game. One of the crazier series that we've seen in really the entirety of this title. That's going to do it for myself and Jay as we now hand it over to Clint, who is on the stage with Vico.
All right, let's get it. Vico, my guy.
Come on, man, let's go.
Listen, I don't think a lot of people saw that coming. Hot 3-0, how you feeling right off the win?
I'm feeling good. You know, Joe messaged me this morning. He was like, don't play like a pussy, Javi, and you got this. So Joe, shout out.
So for Joe Merck, yeah, he wanted me to ask you how much playing with him in ranked helped prepare you for this. What did he teach you?
He got me ready for this big games. So I gotta thank him for playing rank with me. I gotta thank Teep as well, the GOATs for sure.
No, listen, I grew a lot of respect for you and became a fan just listening to you BS with the old timers. It was awesome to watch. But what do you think gave you the edge over OpTic in this particular match?
I think we played them really close on Saturday on our online series. I just feel like maybe we were playing a bit scared. I was telling my teammates like, hey, I don't even think like any of us individually played well, and we still made it close. Like if we all come out firing today, we're winning for sure. And I think everyone fried. So.
Well, let's look forward a little bit because, listen, I know there's been many iterations of this Florida Mutineers team, but in the past, there's been some of these big, like, round one upsets where you beat OpTic, you get to this high energy stand, but then, like, you lose the match after. How do you try to maintain that and make sure there's no fall off?
I think this is a different event for us because we come from winners. So I feel like in losers, we always win round one, just lose round two, fall off short. But I think this event is different. We start in winners. It's like our champs in a sense because we won't be able to play in Vegas, unfortunately.
True.
So we're just giving our all, and we're all proving that we deserve to be in the league.
Hey, listen, I know it's been a frustrating year at times, but it's been amazing to see you guys come together. Fantastic round one win, and best luck the rest of the way, buddy.
Please hold this 1 second.
Back to the desk.
So, baby, that's right. It's Vickle and the squad from Florida walking away with a 3-0. 9% of the chat thought this was possible. They picked the Mutineers. I don't think anyone saw a 3-0 coming other than the Mutineers themselves. Congratulations, Florida. You are still in the running for champs. Remember, mathematically in the running if they win it all.
No, I think Florida straight up done. No,
well, keep in mind what's going to happen in the losers bracket. I might be wrong here, but all of our teams that are on the bubble are facing off against each other, and now you have OpTic facing off against LA Thieves in an opening round of elimination. While Florida, you play the winner of Breach or Røkkr tomorrow. Winnable series chance.
Yeah, winnable series. Like, they just won against the team that was supposed to be the best in the game in a 3-0 fashion. So I just think Florida are insanely tippable. So many of the teams, even on the online portion, have like laid down and died when champs got eliminated for them. These guys have turned up in the stage, turned up against OpTic in that winner's bracket run. There is so much potential there.
Oh no, that is the worst nightmare for OpTic fans. That is a losers round one matchup.
Oh, Kenny versus OpTic too.
And of course, you got Vegas versus Surge. That is the battle for champs, which will be happening tomorrow. But we got to take a look back at this series. And Nameless, how did you not get the script? Not enough monster, brother? Walk me through these.
I thought you were absolutely insane for picking the Florida Mutineers. Listen, all the data, everything when you dive deep into this series points to an OpTic domination. I just didn't take into account that Brack and Vickle were going to clamp up the stars on OpTic Texas. I mean, when you look at that map number one, OpTic was, 8-0 with Ghosty. They had a 100-point differential versus everybody that they played. I mean, we're losing P3 into P4 rotation back-to-back. They were frying them. This was a level I did not think we could see out of the Florida Mutineers. Then we get to the search and destroy. I mean, there's rounds where Vickle's nading his teammates, and then he's popping a two-piece trap behind the hedges, pulling off miracle plays time and time again throughout this. And then it's a highly contested control where it's going back and forth. You think OpTic started to gain some momentum? No, the heroic efforts on the retakes, putting them in the spawn traps. Like, Florida was fundamentally sound throughout the series, and the guns were also hot.
I completely agree with that sentiment. I think, especially when it came to that hard point on Fortress, Florida Mutineers was always a step ahead, especially when it came to the fundamentals and rotating, and that's where OpTic Texas has kind of struggled during this split. The reason why they were able to go perfect, though, is because of their breaking. Well, Florida Mutineers, they wouldn't allow it. Brack 30-16, map number one. And then you head into that Mercado. I mean, Vickle and Cap, we saw what could be possible if both of those players were on their game at the same time. It's been kind of a seesaw. Either Vickle's doing well or Cap is doing well. Well, both of those players, 10+ kills on the search and destroy. And then that Expo, last time these two teams played it, it went to around number 5, but it fell to OpTic Texas. Not this time around. Florida Mutineers secure that defense and they lock it down. I mean, it was written in the script and it's scripted just a little too hard.
Fellow told me before this tournament, don't let us win Fortress. That was the first map of this series. OpTic was perfect on that map all year and now handed their first loss at the hands of the Mutineers. Now, Ali, we're done with with this segment, but I want to ask a special favor.
Yeah,
Chat's not happy right now. Can you look right into your camera here and give everyone at home a heartfelt apology?
I thought it was broken. I'm sorry. I thought the curse was over. I won't do it again. I'm sorry.
The curse is real. It continues live here in Toronto, as does the show. When we come back, we have, of course, the Minnesota Røkkr taking on the Boston Breach. But first, it's your scuff play of the game, and it's the superstar S&D duo running the SMGs. Capsidal and Vic will walk me through this one, Chance.
I mean, these guys were just popping off the entire time, right? Nameless already called out of like Vico's opening rounds team nading. Instead of breaking down, it's the instant bounce back. These guys were making plays all over top and bottom Cantina. And it's just if your SMGs can run the show, it makes everyone else so comfortable. So I don't know how they held OpTic in a chokehold, but I mean, 6-2 wasn't even close.
6-2 as they cruise to a Game 2 victory, a 2-0 lead that became a 3-0 sweep. Florida Mutineers shocking the fans as they pull off the first major upset here of Major 5. That is your Scuff play of the game. For more, make sure you check out scuffgaming.com. And of course, while you are waiting for this next match to kick off, get your bundles, get your packs right now. And I'm talking about a good one. You want to see this bad boy? So do I. It's called the Water Pack, the Deep Water Pack 2. Nameless, believe it or not, you can drown the competition with 2 blueprints for close-up fights and distance engagements, and core MP and operator skin for Luna. I know you wanted one of those.
I mean, Luna, I think, is, well, Luca is Miles' dog, but hey, get a skin for a human, for a dog, ready for the map, do what you gotta do.
There you go, and Alex, you can read number 6 for me there, because we got some Warzone action kicking off as well.
Heck yeah, we got World Series of Warzone. Tune in June 7th and 8th to watch the Stage 1 finals on twitch.tv/Call of Duty as teams drop in for the right to move on and possibly land in the global final. I'm so glad World Series of Warzone is back.
Boston and Røkkr looking to lock up their spot at champs. One of them is moving forward in our bracket after this. Don't go anywhere. It's Major 5, live from Toronto.